check it out for yourself. I mean, this is downtown D.C. right now. We're just in front of the White House again. It's another night of fury aimed at Donald Trump. Outside the church where last night Donald Trump stood, Bible in hand, after demonstrators had been forced out to make way for him, today came condemnation.
It is clear you don't have the Bible in your heart.
In case you missed it, the peaceful demonstration turned into this so that this could happen. Trump walking out of the White House defiantly to the very spot those protesters had been demanding social justice. The president stood by that church and held high that book.
Using tear gas and flash grenades in order to stage a photo op. We can be forgiven for believing the president is more interested in power than in principle.
And about that Bible, said presidential challenger Joe Biden,
I just wish he opened it once in a while instead of brandishing it. If he opened it, he could have learned something.
As demonstrators raged for yet another day throughout the U.S. in state after state after state, back in the Capitol, taller fencing had been installed around the White House, walling off protesters who kept up their demands regardless. The same demands for social justice were sent to Trump directly by another crowd alongside the presidential motorcade today. They'd gathered with their placards and their now relentless fury as the president visited the shrine of St. John Paul II. Trump's only public comments today came via Twitter, calling protesters in New York hoodlums, thugs, and scum. And as those demonstrations continue, Trump continues to threaten to call in the full power of the U.S. military if states can't stop the protests on their own. On that, today, it seemed a kind of stunned, near disbelief.
We don't think that the active duty military should be used on American streets against Americans. Bringing in the military to do police work is inappropriate.
Meanwhile, the criticism continues, both veiled and otherwise. Mike Mullen, who was once the top-ranking advisor to Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama, wrote about that walk to the church yesterday. The church is just over here. He said it was nothing more than a stunt. And he said the citizens of this country are not the enemy. George W. Bush didn't name Trump today, but he said now is the time for America to examine its failures. Meanwhile, the crowd keeps on sending its message to Donald Trump. Andrew.
Paul Hunter in Washington, thank you.